In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today we are going to dig into what it takes to be a CTO in this period of vibe coding and what's happening with startups in San Francisco and around the world. My guest today is Balki Kodarapu, who is a fractional CTO, and he specializes in helping SaaS startups scale from the beginning, from no revenue to $50 million in annual recurring revenue, all while maintaining budget and momentum. He has a proven track record of leading 6 startups through hypergrowth, raising over $150 million in funding, and delivering several successful exits. Balki possesses deep insights into the world of technology and innovation. His approach focuses on fostering high-performance teams and building scalable systems that drive revenue. Beyond this his professional achievements, Balki is passionate about mentoring future leaders and nurturing talent. So welcome to the show, Balki. I'm grateful that you have some time to spend with me today.
Hi, Emmanuel. Likewise, ever since we connected, I've wanted to be on the show and talk to you and your audience. So I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting time to be involved in technology, isn't it?
That's an understatement. I was just telling somebody, I've been in the industry 20 years. You know, we had a lot of hiccups, and including the 9/11 event and, major events both in the world as well as technology. And this one put the fear of Almighty in me. So it's a major tectonic shift for sure.
Yeah, so the AI tools, or the vibe coding tools. What have you noticed about how that's changed SaaS startups?
It's changed a lot in terms of perception and pressure, and almost like anything else, like no surprise here, the people in the weeds feel differently about who, like everybody else, the spectators, right? So
Yeah.
the spectators have not much to lose, so they have lots of opinions and not much, it sounds cynical, but it is true, right? Because I can be on both sides of the equation and I can empathize with both sides. So I'll talk from the inside first as engineers, right? So
Yep.
imagine yourself like hearing things like, we can replace you overnight. You learn, but indirectly we're saying, even though you learn, we are on a path to replacing you in 6 months or 12 months. So naturally my question is, first, why would I learn? And second is, what the F, right? So why should I even go through this journey? So that's from the inside. That said, it's been a journey for sure. Most objective and realistic engineers are looking at this opportunity and changing their style for the first time in 20 years, right?
Sure.
We could get away by saying, I'm a great developer, leave me alone, keep increasing my pay, like don't ask me for deadlines, and all of those could be okay in the last 20 years. They know now that it's not okay. So they're embracing the tools for sure. So I'm embracing the tools, they're embracing the tools. that's the inside reality. From the external side, there's enormous pressure from the community, the VCs, et cetera, the people who hold the keys to the kingdom. They get to see the news real time, and they see all this news, and it's natural for them to challenge and ask the engineers and the engineering leaders like me, how can we 100x our productivity? Or when this company's revenue per employee is $10 million, how come ours is like 200,000 or whatever, right? So
Yeah, right.
the that's what I see from both sides, and I can empathize and relate to both sides of the equation a little bit more with the engineers, because I'm a recovering engineer myself.
Absolutely. Well, I've done a little bit of work. I've built a couple apps on Replit,
Okay.
and so what I found is like I can build a pretty good interface. I can build some basic functionality, but then when it comes to security and payments, I still need help with the professionals. So what are you seeing in terms of that?
Yeah, and by payments you mean accepting payments?
Yeah, right.
Mhm. Yeah, even that could be a smaller leap of faith. There's so much APIs like Stripe, makes it extremely easy for you to integrate. I would encourage you to go like maybe spend a day or two learning about Stripe API and vibe coding your way to accepting payments.
Yeah.
I think you can do it. The security part is a tricky one, right? So it's several layers of security. These days I'm working with a little bit more mature and especially health tech companies.
Hmm.
Just the industry itself, like we are stewards of a lot of highly confidential, important information. So
Yep.
security is at the center of everything. So I cannot afford to take it lightly. So we take every effort and more when integrating AI tools at each layer. So, for example, we've been using Cursor for our developers for a while. We had to
Yep.
do a lot of due diligence in getting the approval. And now we are seeing in the industry that with Claude Code, our productivity could be increased.
Uh-huh.
We want to help our engineers increase their productivity, but do it that with eyes wide open, right? So we'll go through the same vetting process with Claude and Anthropic before we say yes, go ahead and jump in. So it's a one simple example, but you can imagine that at each layer when um, we ask our vendors, do you use our data to train? If even if they're like flinch a second, that puts doubt, right? So
For
one
sure.
company said, we don't know, and I'll go find out. I'm like, no, that's not
Yeah.
how it works.
You should know the answer to this
Yes,
one. Yeah.
exactly. Another company said, we can only promise in our enterprise plan, right? So that's an okay
Oh,
answer. It's like
right.
20,
Yeah.
30% more.
Yep.
It's the cost of admission for us. Like, if you can guarantee that you won't use us for training and have zero retention, that's fine. We'll pay like that 30% premium happily.
Yeah.
Those are some of the things. And we use a tool like Vanta. I don't know if you came across that. So
Yeah. Yep.
Vanta
I've
is
seen it.
doing
Yeah.
a great job of, like, if you put the tool's web address, they'll grab everything. If they have SOC 2 compliance, and
Yep.
the tool will actually read the entire compliance document, generate questions to ask, and then like check off and give a grade of how secure they are.
I guess you could do the same thing with Notebook, couldn't you? Or
Notebook
similar to.
LLM,
Yeah.
yeah, likely, yes.
Yeah. One of the tools I am working on, and I don't know if you'd be interested in this, is a browser-based app that redacts PII,
Hmm.
and so you're able to interact with the LLM without putting any personal identifiable information into it.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful. Please share it with me.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're working on a much bigger project than me, just vibe coding that one, of course.
Awesome.
Well, yeah. Talk a little bit about what the compliance standards are that you've got. Obviously, HIPAA and SOC 2, but are there any other overarching compliance standards that we've developed yet?
Um, There's others, but like I mentioned, I work with health tech companies. So
Yep.
HIPAA SOC 2 is like baseline. Any vendor we interact with, we require SOC 2. Type 1 is enough many times, but type 2 is better.
Yep.
And then HIPAA, obviously, right? It's a long
Sure.
process. HIPAA, interestingly, is a self assessment. So
Right.
there's not like a third party auditor that does it. So there's a lot of gray in when somebody says they're HIPAA compliant.
Right.
But there's a lot of best practices that are pretty arduous. So as I mentioned before, when we bring on any vendor, we ask them if they can sign a BAA, the Business Associate Agreement.
Right.
Not many will do it, mostly because they don't know what it is, but but also it's a somewhat of a higher commitment on the vendor. So, and we do that only like not for the sake of making their life harder, but it's also if they're accessing our like confidential data, right? So if they're
Yep.
just accessing our code, they don't need to sign a BA, for example. If they're accessing our Jira, maybe it depends like what they do with Jira. So there's a lot of nuance, and as a startup and as practical people, like we can like thread the needle, like not be too draconian about this, but at the end of the day, our job is to be stewards of this we promised our customers something, and we have to keep that promise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's very, very easy for the information to leak. I was talking to a friend. He was trying to do like he was absolutely trying to help the company. He was trying a tool and put some of the data in that tool, and then just like realize that maybe that was not the right thing. So for weeks he's been chasing the company down to ask them about their stance or delete the data, and they're not responding. Like that puts a bad taste in your mouth, right? So
Yep.
when something like that happens, I don't want to like deal with that. I would rather
Yeah. You got to
build
be
something.
responsive. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you saying to guys that are coming or people that are coming out of school right now, having been coding, doing computer science or something? What's your wise counsel as the grandfather of technology to the young people coming up?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have some opinions there. Starting with my own son, he's 16. He's not
Okay.
quite there. He's a few years to go before
Yep.
graduating college. But just in the last year, like until last year, I was like, you should go into software, work for a FANG company, make as much money as you want. But that there are slim chances for most people, right, to do that these days. The careers have been quite disrupted. But to my surprise, like he wasn't into software, but somehow he got into software. He built his own startup. He's doing a
Oh,
internship
cool.
for at 16. That's pretty
That's,
impressive, at least
yeah,
if I might say that. He's
absolutely.
helping a Silicon Valley startup as an intern. So like he got into it, and I'm surprised and happy to like see him be quite natural with vibe coding.
Nice.
What I'm telling him is vibe coding is fine, but learn the fundamentals. So I'm not giving him a free pass. Like he's like so enamored with like, oh my God, this is like so easy and so fast. I'm like, fine, enjoy that, but
Yeah.
learn the fundamentals.
Right.
Because if you can do it, everybody in the world could do it. So how will you differentiate yourself? And one way as a hardworking young person is to build that foundational skills. So for now, I'll stand by that. I don't know in 2-3 years if having that foundational knowledge is important. For now, it is.
Right.
All of that said, the silver lining is at several companies I'm helping, we are actively using interns. So students still in college, second, third year. And I'm quite surprised and happy to see them become like what I called AI native, right? So they're
Yeah.
doing a much better job of using the AI tools, including coding and building complex things, more than experienced people. So it's I'm not hesitating to say we hold baggage. We've learned our ways of doing things, and for good or for bad, they're not the ones that are yielding success today. And the young people coming out are a fresh, blank paper. So they're doing a good job, actually, the interns.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I guess the question is there always going to be there's always going to need to be humans in the loop, right?
Hmm.
To verify and double check and ensure that uh, what the computers are generating is accurate to what the project is. So maybe just fewer. We'll just need fewer humans. Do you think, or what are you projecting?
The verdict is still out there. I'm not a futurist to look into 10 years ahead,
Yeah,
but I'm a realist and an optimist, right? So I think like we can generate more high quality. Like right now, it's like the quote unquote, it's all AI slop. It the first 90% is very fast, but the remaining 10% takes a lot of time, and it's
yeah,
quite frustrating. Now, I want to table flip and say, let me hand code everything from scratch, right? So uh, of course we'll get past that, in 2 3 years or even quicker. You'll get to 95% and 99%, like fully high quality, highly secure code. It's a matter of time, it's not a
sure.
matter of if. So that's going to happen. One optimistic view for me is we are in somewhat of a bubble, right? So you and me and many others on the coastal elites, right? So we live and breathe SaaS and the fast-paced breakneck speed of tech. So
Yep.
for us, it's natural. But something like on the far end of the spectrum, like the government or old industries, this is honestly like a gold rush for them, I think, right? So we as technologists, we can help them, and there's a lot of opportunities to disrupt and improve the industry. I think they skipped, because they're so lazy and slow, they skipped several generations of tech advancements. But with AI we could help them. So I see a huge opportunity for us, like, there.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think what's interesting is that some of the engagements I'm in, we're not even close to the point of instituting any AI applications. We're
Exactly.
just getting the data together into a space and just starting with some automations and, like the technology debt that's been accumulated by some of these legacy businesses is catching up and getting them in a position to use AI, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Again, like, the good thing, again, the meta thing is, even in reducing the tech debt, that's where I'm super excited about. Even like a company I'm helping is only 4 years old, but the enormity of tech debt, because of their own success, we just can't think of like fully automating through AI. But I'm excited that I can use AI to reduce that tech debt
Yeah,
much quicker. So like a year ago, if there's tech debt, I would say, like, just live with it, because trying to reduce that will kill the company. But
yeah,
today I have a different stance. I'm like, we can use AI to transition off that legacy code. There's hope at the end of the tunnel. So as a
yeah.
realist, that's my view.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, we've seen these big pushes, these big innovation pushes, and we know that the technology can always move way faster than the humans can integrate it. And we just have to make sure that the deployments and the applications that we're using are good and from the strategic planning process and will actually yield an ROI.
Hmm.
And then that way there'll be opportunities to do more of them and get the benefits of it.
Absolutely.
Well, Balky, this time has flown by, and I hope that you'll come and join me again in a couple months so I can check in and see what you're up to. I'd love to have you on the show again. I love the work that you're doing, and I sure love the spirit in which that you're working on all these projects.
Awesome. Thank you, Emmanuel. That went by really fast.
It sure did. We'll have your LinkedIn and website and the show notes, and encourage people to connect with you to have a conversation about technology.
That sounds great. Thanks, Emmanuel.
Okay. I'm grateful for your time. Thank you. And hang on while I close the show, and we'll say goodbye. Well, it's good to hear that we're still going to need humans in the IT department, even as the AI gets more and more powerful. I hope that you take some time today to find a place in your workflow that AI may be able to help you, and that you test some new tools through an aggregator, like there's an AI for that, or through a chat GPT search, and that with that time that you win back by implementing an AI tool, that you continue to upskill, that you spend more time with your friends and family, and that you take time to get outside in nature and get away from the screens. This is Emmanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.